In today's video, we're setting up an enclosure for one of my favorite little geckos, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to care for them. Pictus geckos come from the southwestern region of Madagascar, where they live in the leaf litter and under rocks and wood. Their habitat also extends into the spicy thicket ecoregion. This unique ecoregion is super important because of its high number of endemic species. Unfortunately, it's also one of the world's most endangered habitats due to deforestation. This area is also known for erratic and random periods of rainfall with long periods of drought, which is what makes Pictus geckos so hardy as pets, because they can tolerate a wide range of temperatures and humidity. Okay, step 1, substrate. For substrate, I'm going with a mix of potting soil, sand, and cocoa husk. You want something that holds shape but still lets them burrow. In the wild, they'll dig tunnels and hide under loose debris. You also want your substrate to be able to hold some humidity. Next, let's add our cork bark pieces to create hides and climbing areas. Pictus geckos aren't an arboreal species, but they will explore small elevations. So I like to angle one piece of cork to give them a little bit of a climbing area, and then a few other pieces to create little caves underneath. You also want to give the geckos a humidity gradient. So I added some sphagnum moss under this cork tube to create a humid hide. Now time for plants. I've done a few Pictus gecko builds where I don't use plants at all, so if you don't want to, you don't have to. But it helps create more cover and hiding places for the gecko. So I'm adding a few hardy options like snake plants and pothos. Alright, before we get to heat, let's talk UVB, because this is where I'm testing something new. This video is sponsored by LuminPacific, a company built on care, responsibility, and a deep commitment to pet health. The light I'm using for this enclosure is their UVB reptile light. It's a UVA, UVB, and FR lamp that covers Ferguson zones 1 through 4, which means it's safe for a wide range of reptiles, from rainforest species all the way to desert dwellers. They have 5 preset modes for the UVA and UVB, but you can also manually adjust it to your own needs and the exposure distance from the reptile. It also has options to control the light cycle and a timer switch, which makes dialing in the light cycles super easy. You can even set up a sunrise and a sunset option on it if you want as well. Now, quick disclaimer, this is my first time testing this light, so definitely do your own research and make sure it fits your reptile's needs. But if you want to give it a try yourself, you can use the code DaffysReptiles15 for 15% off on the LuminPacific website. I should also say, Pictus geckos are a nocturnal species, so you don't necessarily need to give them UVB. I know a lot of keepers and breeders who don't. That being said, if you are able to give it to them, they will use it and benefit from it. But that's completely up to you. And always do your own research when it comes to UVB. Okay, let's get back to our setup. For heat, I'm using a low wattage heat lamp positioned above one end of the tank to create a gradient. Pictus geckos do best with a hot spot around 90 degrees Fahrenheit and a cooler side around 75 degrees Fahrenheit. But always give them options and a gradient, and they'll move around to thermoregulate themselves. I'm also adding an LED light here to help grow the plants. Also, make sure you add a water bowl too. I find these guys prefer to drink off the plants and the cork when I mist, so I try to give them a light mist every night, but I still always make sure they have fresh water in the water bowl, even if I've never seen them use it. For humidity, I give the enclosure a longer mist every few days, and make sure you are spraying the sphagnum moss inside the humid hide and keeping it moist. This will help them shed properly and prevent any stuck sheds, especially around the toes and the tail. I also like to give them a small deli cup with calcium in it. I've never seen them use this either, but it's there if they need it. Now that everything's set up, let's introduce our Pictus gecko to their new home. Give them time to explore. They're usually shy at first, but super curious once they settle in. Remember, these are nocturnal animals, so don't expect too much daytime activity, but at night you'll see them running around, hunting, and showing off their little tail wags. Speaking of hunting, I feed them a mix of insects. Crickets, roaches, mealworms, waxworms, they'll take anything really. And make sure you are dusting them with calcium and other vitamins as needed. I'll dust the insects with calcium with no D3 most of the time, and then once every 2 weeks I give them calcium with D3. And that's how you set up and care for Pictus geckos. They're an awesome, super underrated gecko that deserves more love in the hobby. If you found this helpful, Please like this video, subscribe for more reptile setups, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I will get back to you. Thanks again to LuminPacific for sponsoring today's video, and remember, use code DAFFY15 for 15% off if you want to try their lights out. Thank you all for watching and see you in the next one.